Good day, Sir Leo Arcayos. I am Cadet Emmanuel Maglaos Lasea, Section G2F-1, and today I am going to explain the basics of damage stability determination in relation to SOLAS Chapter 2-1, Criteria on Damage Stability. SOLAS, or known as Safety of Life at Sea, it is in the book here, is a construction, structure, subdivision, and stability, machinery, and electrical installation sets the criteria. Primary goal is to ensure a vessel remains afloat and stable even after suffering damage such as collisions or groundings, thereby minimizing risk and protecting lives at sea. The specific criteria and methods for determining damage stability depend on the ship type and its construction date. Methods for assessing damage stability. There are two primary approaches exist for assessing damage stability, and deterministic and probabilistic methods. Number one is deterministic approach. This traditional method uses predefined damage scenarios such as flooding one or more adjacent compartments to determine if a ship meets minimum stability criteria after the assumed damage. Calculations determine if the vessel meets stability criteria after the assumed damage. This approach is simpler but less comprehensive than probabilistic method. It's often used for older vessels and those carrying hazardous materials. Key criteria includes limits on the final angle of heel, the extent of residual stability, and the area under the righting lever curve. Number two is probabilistic approach. This more modern approach uses probability to assess the likelihood of survival after various damage scenarios. It considers the probability of different damage extents and locations. This attained subdivision index A is calculated representing the overall probability of survival. This A index must meet or exceed a required subdivision index R, which depends on the ship's length and passengers' capacity. This approach provides a more comprehensive assessment of damage stability by considering a wider range of damage possibilities. K criteria and concepts. Regardless of the chosen method, several key concepts and criteria are central to damage stability assessment. Number one is compartmentalization. Dividing the ship into watertight compartments is fundamental, enhancing survivability. More compartments generally lead to improved resilience. Number two is permeability. This represents the instinct to which a compartment fills with water after flooding, and it's crucial factor in calculation for both methods. Number three is floodable length. In the deterministic approach, this is the maximum length of a compartment that can flood without causing the vessel to sink below the margin line. Number four is subdivision index A and R. The probabilistic method uses these indices to determine compliance. The attained index A reflects the ship's ability to survive flooding, while the required index R is a minimum standard based on a ship type and size. Moving on, number 5 is margin line. An imaginary line drawn 75 mm below the freeboard deck. The vessel must not sink below this line after damage. And we got the other one, which is the extent of damage. The regulations specify assumed damage length, breadth, and depth for different scenarios, varying based on vessel's type and damage location. And we got flooding. Calculations determine the effects of flooding on the vessel's stability considering the volume of water entering the damaged compartment and the resulting shift in the center of gravity. We also got residual stability. After flooding, the vessel must retain sufficient stability to remain afloat and avoid capsizing. This is often expressed as a minimum residual righting moment or a minimum range of positive stability. And the last one is intact stability. Even before damage, the vessel must possess adequate intact stability to withstand the effects of flooding. After that, we have compliance and regulation. Compliance with SOLAS Chapter 2-1 is mandatory. Ships must meet the specified criteria using either the deterministic or probabilistic method, depending on the ship's type and size. Regular inspections and crew training are essential to maintain compliance and ensure effective damage control. The ultimate goal is to ensure ship survival and the safety of those on board in the event of damage. The specific calculations involved in damage stability assessment are complex and require specialized software considering factors such as the vessel's geometry, weight distribution, and the properties of the fluids involved in the ship. So, thank you for watching.